Hello everyone, I'm phoenixtremayne, and today I'm going to review Willy's Wonderland starring Nicolas Cage. But first, if you haven't done so, please take a minute to subscribe and hit that like button so more people can discover my channel. If you like things like dramas and soap operas, I do have another channel, which is now like 26K. It's growing, while this one isn't growing that fast. But I'm going to hang in there and see if I can build this one up too. You'll find in the description box the link to my other YouTube channel if you want to, if you like things like dramas and soap operas and things like that. But this one is to review movies, TV shows, music, all the other things that I like to watch and listen to. And we're going to talk about Willy's Wonderland. I gotta say, I was actually excited to see Willy's Wonderland because I had Wrong Turn and Willy's Wonderland. And I was like, which one do I want to see first? And I chose Willy's Wonderland. I should have watched Wrong Turn. So in this, we basically see Nicolas Cage get his easiest paycheck ever. I have a feeling he said, you know, I know this movie's going to be some BS, but as long as the check is cash and I don't have to say your stupid dialogue, I'll go ahead and do this movie. And so he doesn't talk in the movie. He just looks at things very seriously. And he actually does a good job of being the silent warrior character. And I have to say Nicolas Cage is the best thing about the movie. He really got into his character. He committed to his character. But the problem comes with everybody else in the film. It comes with the direction of the film. The animatronic puppets were good. The look was good. However, the death scenes, the fighting, all of that was awful. It was not well directed. Some scenes you're like, did you just get out of film school? Did you attend film school? It was just so amateurish. You know, I was expecting more from the Nicolas Cage movie. I mean, I know he's become the star of B movies, but he's a star of fun B movies. It's not like Steven Seagal or any of them that just like give me a paycheck and a beer and I'm here for a couple days and then we knock this thing out. No, Nicolas seems to pick movies he loves, and that, you know, he wants to give maybe new directors a chance, and, you know, he really goes all in with his characters, and that's why he has such a strong following. But when it's just him, and when I say like bad death scenes, it includes the scenes of the puppets, because when the puppets go after other people, they're a little more badass, you know, but when they go after him, they almost just sort of stand there to get beaten to death. Except for like the last puppet at the end. But for the most part, Nicolas makes this, his character is called the janitor in the film, but he makes it look like killing these puppets is easy. You just grab something and you keep hitting until they stop moving, rip their heads off and move on to the next one. Whereas sort of like the second act of the film, we get the body count characters. When you see them, you're like, okay, so they're bringing these characters in to die. And they're so stupid. You're really rooting for them to die. And sometimes in a horror movie that's good, but at least try to do a better job of establishing who these characters are. Now, the characters were scared to go into the building. They know that people get killed, they go into the building. But why do they do the typical horror movie thing where people separate? And then one of the people who didn't want to be in the building the most had sex with his girlfriend. And then they know puppets are killing people. And when they see a puppet in the room, he's like, oh, that's turning me on. Keep having sex. So you know this puppet that's probably going to kill you, and it does, is just standing there. And you don't fight, you don't tell her to get off me so you can at least have a chance of like surviving. And the death scenes are horrible because we don't really get to see what's actually going on. They kind of go the Evil Dead route, where there's either blood or the oil representing the blood of the puppets, animatronics. They just splatter everywhere like, they're doing an Evil Dead movie, which is well done actually, but we don't really get to see kill scenes like the puppet jumps on top of you and the head is moving like it's gnawing on you, and then it moves up and you see the blood or whatever, but it's just not like horror movie. Like I think it wants to be a horror movie, but it's just bland. And then there's scenes where there's like the different lights, lens flares and things like that, and it's like there should be context to when you put stuff like that in there. And I kind of think Nicolas Cage, I was watching this like, is that his love interest? I'm like, what's the age difference between these two actors? And then the movie ends and you're like, But, and I'll say one good thing is I feel like the best scene in the movie is the Enchanted Forest scene where the girl goes into this room. It's sort of like an Enchanted Forest type room, and this puppet is doing flips and tricks and climbing a wall like a spider and is moving really fast. But then when this very same puppet who can do all of that encounters Nicolas Cage, it forgets it can do any of that and just gets beat down. And that's part of the problem, is that this movie needed more imagination. It needed more gore. It needed to really lean more into what was going on. And I needed more I'm not going to say I needed more explanation. I just needed more story. Okay? Now, even Nightmare on Elm Street, that has like tons of kids as their body count, each one at least gets a moment to kind of tell you who they are, even if it's cliche and stereotypical. But I couldn't tell you any of these characters' names. I couldn't even tell you any of these characters' personalities. I could probably guess based on how they look. There's only one person that died in the movie that I didn't think was going to die. Everybody else, I was just kind of waiting for your turn to be next. And so, I guess the big question is, would I recommend this movie? I would not recommend renting the movie. I would not recommend buying the movie. What I would recommend is to wait till it's on a streaming service. Like, I got mine from Redbox. But you need to wait until it's on a streaming service like Hulu, Netflix, HBO Max, whatever it ends up on, and see it for yourself through a streaming service where you're already paying for it. And then you can't really be mad, other than maybe you might feel like you wasted your time. But I think that if you see it on a streaming service you're already paying for, you'll be cool. But if you just a Nicolas Cage fan and you just buy this straight out, you're not gonna look at it again, unless you're the type of person that likes drinking games. And every time something stupid happens, everybody takes a shot. And by the time the movie ends, you'll all have alcohol poisoning. So make sure you have a designated person to watch, to be your designated movie watcher, so that somebody can call 911 when the ambulance need to come. If you play a drinking game to this movie, because the dumb dialogue, the dumb kills, and the wasted potential, because this movie has so much potential. I wanted to see a dumb, stupid horror movie that's just fun, like a Leprechaun movie, or a Wishmaster movie, or Nightmare on Elm Street. Just something stupid like, I used to watch Puppet Master, all those sequels. So, those little puppets were fun to watch. It was a good franchise. But Willy's Wonderland, even though I like the animatronics, I like the look of them, I like the way they move, I know they put some love into that. I like Nicolas Cage, even though I really wish he talked. But the rest of the cast, especially the sheriff. And then my number one pet peeve in horror movies is when somebody like beats up a killer or something, and then they drop their weapon and walk away. And in this case, it's even worse because the puppet wasn't even dead, and the girl drops her weapon and walks off. So it's like really stupid things like that that made me go, this ain't even fun stupid. You know, this ain't even like Halloween stupid, like the worst Halloween movies from the franchise. Like people make fun of like the one with Busta Rhymes and things like that, but to me it was still fun. And this just needed a better director, a better script, and I think we would have been having maybe a cult classic or something. But unfortunately, that is not the case. If you want to judge for yourself, go on ahead and rent or buy it. But my suggestion for this movie is to stream it. Thanks for watching.